Raiden here. I took care of the C4 in Strut C. The ceiling of the women's bathroom was set to blow.
That's not like him.
Anything wrong?
Maybe. Pliskin's reported other locations too, and none of them are effective demolition points.
What do you mean?
It means that they wouldn't be the best places to choose if you wanted to destroy this place.
Are you saying they don't plan on blowing the shell up?
It certainly seems that way. So far we haven't seen anything but a waste of good explosives. Unless, of course, we're missing something.
A trap?
He couldn't have overlooked the fact that I would be called into this. There's something going on. Well done. It looks like there are no more bombs in that strut. Now, head for the other struts.
About this bomb, it's been placed in a somewhat strange location.
Agreed. It doesn't make sense. Not for him, anyway.
You sound like you've got everything figured out.
That's because I do. I know exactly how his mind works.
Raiden, where are you? What are you embarrassed about? You're on a mission. Anything goes.
Pliskin.
I've snuck into similar places in the past myself.
Huh?
Raiden, another C4 down. There was one planted pretty high up on the ceiling. The coolant spray couldn't reach that far, so I had to get up on a stand to do it.
Tell me a little more about Dead Cell.
Dead Cell was a shadow unit within the SEALs organization.
Right. They handled surprise raids on vital government facilities, didn't they?
Yes. They were originally put together to check the nation's military security system. The unit was the brainchild of ex-President George Sears. Dead Cell was a secret unit positioned at the opposite end of anti-terrorist outfits such as Delta Force and SEALs.
Were they always a
group of madmen?
Yeah.
No. They got weird when Colonel Jackson, Fortune's husband, was sent to jail.
Sent to jail? For what?
Corruption. He misappropriated government funds.
Sounds like he deserved it.
That's what everybody else thought, except for the members of Dead Cell. They felt the colonel was falsely accused. Fact is, they took the case to the powers that be, but they never managed to reopen the case.
Was there any truth to their claim?
Who knows? Whatever the situation is, Dead Cell's name was tainted.
And Colonel Jackson?
He was being held at Leavenworth.
Was? Meaning he's been released?
Well, in a manner of speaking, the colonel's dead.
Oh.
Apparently, he lost the will to live and died in prison. The members of Dead Cell snapped with the loss of their leader. They underwent a radical change and became uncontrollable.
And that's why they undertook this terrorist operation.
Seems as good a reason as any.
Raiden reporting. The C4 in Strut B has been disposed of. The wall containing the transformer panel was set to blow.
You're faster than I expected, and more capable than you look. Well done. It looks like there are no more bombs in that strut. Now, head for the other struts.
Jack, do you need to save? Jack, it must be so nerve-wracking to defuse a bomb.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, that was a stupid thing to say. Sorry.
That's all right. It's just that I've never been trained in this stuff.
You okay? Are you feeling well?
I almost threw up a few times.
Oh, Jack.
But I'm okay. It's not like I'm in this alone.
Oh, yeah, that's true. What do you think about when you're defusing those things?
I don't think so much as remember. And I know that I need to resist that and keep my mind blank. I can't let myself be overwhelmed by the fear.
So, am I a part of what you try not to remember? I was just kidding. But I guess this isn't a good time for that.
No, it is. And I do think about you. I'm trying to remember what's so special about April 30th.
Any success?
No, not yet.
You need to stay alive so you can.
Okay, that's a deal.
That's a transformer board over there. You can open and close the door by pushing the action button when you're in front of the door.
Raiden, I'm done with one more C4. This one was in a spot so narrow, I had to crawl in to get at it. Vamp is a member of Dead Cell. Born in Romania, his specialty is knives. But I guess you know that by now. When he was just a kid, he lost his family to a terrorist bomb that went off in a church they were attending. His body pierced by a crucifix, Vamp was buried under the rubble for 2 days before he was finally rescued. During those 2 days, he survived by feeding on the blood of his family to quench his thirst. That was how he acquired a taste for blood.
So that's why they call him Vamp.
No, Vamp isn't for vampire, it's because he's bisexual. Rumor has it, Vamp was the lover of Scott Dolph, the Marine Commandant who accidentally died 2 years ago. Scott Dolph was also the father of Fortune, the Dead Cell leader.
Fortune's old man? But Fortune and Vamp?
You noticed, eh? Not bad for a rookie.
All right.
As you say, Vamp and Fortune are very close. Not lovers, but very close.
Friends?
No, there's more to their relationship than that.
But Vamp was her father's lover.
Would it have been better if it was with her mother?
Well,
I don't really think they care what you think. Focus on the mission.
definitely not. By the way, have you ever met the guy before?
No.
But he seemed to know you.
Right. Well, No, it can't be.
What?
Nothing. I told you the Dead Cell is a group of madmen. I wouldn't take anything they say very seriously.
Jack, do you need to save? Jack, do you remember the day we met?
I'm kind of busy right now, Rose.
You're right, sorry.
I do remember. It was right after I transferred to New York. There were all these tourists around you in front of the Federal Hall.
A group of middle-aged Japanese ladies came up and asked me which building it was that King Kong was climbing in the movie. I said it was probably the Chrysler Building, and then you showed up and started mouthing off. You were like, no, it's the Empire State.
I said the Chrysler Building was in Godzilla.
We started arguing, and I forgot all about the tourists. I was insisting that I was right, and you were doing the same. The next thing we knew, the Japanese women had gone away, and we ended up going to the Skyscraper Museum to see who had the better recall.
We argued all the way to Battery Park.
And for nothing.
Since the museum was closed, we went our separate ways from the museum. And then I found you again by coincidence out in the base corridor.
An amazing coincidence that we were actually working at the same place.
That night we went up to the top of the Empire State.
It was so beautiful. I could look down on the Chrysler Building from 120 stories above ground.
I felt overwhelmed. I didn't care anymore who was right.
And that was our first date.
We watched King Kong in your apartment a bunch of times that night. Didn't sleep till morning. If it weren't for that coincidence, we wouldn't be together.
I know. I'm sorry, Jack. I'm taking up your time again.
What?
Take care.
Raiden, Stillman is a top-notch explosives technician. Follow his orders and disarm the explosives.
Okay, but exactly who is Peter Stillman?
Gotcha. I'll look him up. Hold on a moment.
Make doubly sure you stay out of the enemy sight. If the radar goes offline, the sensor is useless. The C4s will become invisible to you again.
This is Raiden. The C4 found in Strut A has been frozen and disposed of. Explosives were planted in the pump room on the first floor.
This is all wrong. This is something only an amateur would do.
What do you mean?
All the bombs that have been found so far don't appear to be in the right kind of locations. And the quantity of explosives isn't sufficient either.
Even Fatman can make mistakes, right?
No, there's something else going on here. Get a move on with the disposal, Raiden. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Do you think it's a trap?
I don't know, but I'm gonna tell Pliskin to watch his back too. Just hurry.
Stillman, tell me something about Fatman.
Well, to start, he was born the son of a clockmaker, neglected by his parents and without friends. It seems that he spent a lot of time by himself in his father's workshop. Maybe that was the reason, I'm not sure, but apparently he has had a tremendous fascination with clock mechanics since he was a child. It was at the age of 10 that a guidebook that he found on the internet changed his life forever. That guidebook served as a basis of his eventually piecing together an atomic bomb. It was from there that he came to be known as Fatman. And soon enough, there was no one associated with bombs that didn't know his name. In a sense, Fatman was a hero. Although what he did was recognized only by those in the trade, I'm sure that it served to greatly stir the ego of the teenage boy at the center of it all. But he leaves his mark nowhere else. Apparently he was hated and shunned by everyone in school. So he went on to focus all his energy on explosives. He scorned the reality that surrounded him and instead chose to embrace a world that would easily grant him recognition. Well, to be sure, it never amounted to anything more than, say, occasionally bringing a gun into school. Eventually, Fatman came to Indian Head, the exercise training facilities of the Naval School Explosive Ordnance Disposal at which I was a lecturer. He absorbed all kinds of knowledge, as if he hungered for bombs. Close to 20% of the students at Indian Head flunked out of what is truly a hellish curriculum. Despite this environment, he achieved extraordinarily high marks that were without precedent. After leaving Indian Head, he joined up with Nest, said to be the most accomplished bomb disposal unit. It was there that he apparently got into some trouble.
What exactly?
You got me, but Fatman was definitely not cut out for group operations from the very start. Having been ousted from Nest, he was picked up by Dead Cell, which was already becoming notorious for being a motley crew of sorts. It seems that it was through surprise attack maneuvers later conducted by Dead Cell that Fatman completely subdued his former companions from Nest. While being the most peculiar individual among my students, he was also the most talented. Be sure not to underestimate him. Are we clear?
One more bomb defused. There was one I managed to find only because I took a good look in first-person view. You should try it too.
What do you know about that strange woman?
You mean Fortune? She's the Dead Cell leader. Her real name is Helena Dolph Jackson, known to her friends as Lady Luck.
Lady Luck?
Yeah, she got the name because bullets seemed to veer away from her in battle.
Oh.
People have heard her say that her fortune in battle was payback for the lousy luck she's had in life.
Lousy luck?
The death of her father, the Marine commander, the conviction of husband and Dead Cell leader Colonel Jackson. These events were followed by her mother's suicide, the loss of a husband, and the idea of a convict in the family apparently took her over the edge. Fortune was 3 months pregnant at the time, and the shock of her mother's death led to the loss of her child. Add to this her husband's death in prison a few months later, and to sum it up, in the 6 months after her father's death, she lost her family and everything that mattered in her life.
Jeez, she's had it rough.
Yeah, the thing is, she didn't grieve long. Instead, she joined the military.
Now why is that?
Do I look psychic? My best guess is revenge. I heard that she firmly believed that her husband was framed. Anyway, by the time she came out of basic training, she'd proven many times over that she was gifted with an unusual streak of luck. In fact, some say she sold her soul for it.
Her soul?
Her uncanny luck earned her a reputation that led to her appointment as the head of her husband's unit, Dead Cell. I see the old man set you up with a Sensor A unit. Aside from C4, explosives continually release their own specific particles. Based on ion mobility spectrometry technology, Sensor A is capable of detecting particle clusters. Simply put, the detector can sniff out C4. The detected C4 appears on radar as a cloud-like shape. The cloud indicates the rough location of the explosive. This sensor looks like it's been specially tuned. It's been specially modified to sniff out the signature odor of C4, combined with Fatman's special perfume that he uses to identify his work. That's why it won't respond to any of the C4 that we've set up.
What's up, Jack? I looked into Mr. Peter Stillman's file. Full name is Peter Stillman, known as Peg-Leg Peter. He is a legendary bomb disposal technician. He is also a longtime instructor at the Naval School Explosive Ordnance Disposal and a consultant for the NYPD bomb squad. But 5 years ago, he lost his leg in an accident. And since then, he hung up his gloves to focus on being a lecturer. He was called back into service because, as he said, he is the only explosive specialist who can stop Fatman. Although no longer an active consultant, he is still without a doubt the #1 guy when it comes to disarming explosives. He should be very helpful to you.
Raiden, log into the node first. Strut F's node is in a small room in the southwest block of B1. Make doubly sure you stay out of the enemy sight. If the radar goes offline, the sensor is useless. The C4s will become invisible to you again.
Nothing here.
Colonel, I just saw this guy go running by wearing a cardboard box.
A cardboard box.
Who do you think he was? A dead cell?
The dead cells are a bunch of weirdos, that's for sure. But they don't wear cardboard boxes.
I'll look into it.
I'm counting on you.
Shoot a fire extinguisher and the contents will spew out. It's probably a good way to distract the enemy. If you ever find yourself under pursuit, give it a try. Necessity is the mother of invention.
Unable to locate the AWOL soldier. Nothing else to report.
This is Raiden. I just finished disposing of the C4 in Strut F. Found explosives on B1.
Well done. It looks like there are no more bombs in that strut. Now, head for the other struts. Looks like Pliskin shouldn't be having any problems. You'd better look sharp as well.
Stillman, do you really believe that Pliskin is not a member of SEAL Team 10?
He's probably not.
Then exactly what is he?
I'm not sure. But there are other things that I am sure of.
Like what?
Like that I can believe in him, that's what. There's something about him. A certain something that's found only in men of strength, trustworthiness, and reliability.
I see. Anyway, I'm getting back to the mission. Stillman, are you all right over there?
Yeah, no problem.
You must be bored.
Hardly. Between dealing with you guys and calibrating this, I've got my hands full.
What did you say?
Nothing. Look, it's just that it would be best if we didn't have to use this. Anyway, get to those bombs.
Everything's going smoothly over here. I just finished defusing another C4. For some reason, there was one planted on an enemy soldier's back. Fatman. Supposedly, he's nicknamed after an atomic bomb, but to me, he's just a fat man. Something straight out of a sideshow. If he even has a bit of spare time, he spends it disassembling and assembling his Glock over and over again. He can't stand to have his hands still. He's extremely vain about his hands, keeps his fingers as slender and soft as a woman's. They say he's always looking at his hands, giving himself manicures.
Pliskin, I saw someone wearing a cardboard box just now.
A box? I don't know anything about that. You sure you weren't imagining things?
Of course I'm sure. Do you think it's one of the members of Dead Cell?
How should I know?
I don't want to fight someone like that.
Why not?
Because it looks so dumb. Anyone who's willing to be seen like that must be completely insane. I mean, he's a psycho, there's no question about it.
Oh. Yeah. If you shoot those pipes along the ceiling or the floor, jets of steam will escape. Use it to distract or burn the enemy. Remember, always use the surroundings to your advantage.
Pliskin, what do you know about Stillman?
He's a bomb disposal expert, probably the best in the world.
What else?
What do you mean?
Like why he retired?
Are you here to gossip?
No.
Then get back to work defusing those C4s. If there's something you need to know about Stillman, go ask him yourself. Raiden, don't get yourself worked up. It's safer to take out the enemy first, then look for the bomb. Don't even think about searching for the bomb while looking over your shoulder for the enemy. Knock them unconscious or take them out altogether first.
Pliskin, SEAL Team 10's Bravo team's been wiped out.
Is that right?
Is that all you have to say? I thought they were your comrades.
Yeah, too bad.
Too bad. Did you know they were used as a decoy to support my infiltration?
No, but it doesn't surprise me.
Man, you are cold. They were your friends.
What do you want me to say? That you killed them? Or do you want me to say it wasn't your fault?
I just...
Listen, kid, I don't have time to wet nurse you or provide you with a shoulder to cry on. You got a problem with your conscience, you take care of it. Don't bother me.
That's going a bit too far.
Looks like the enemy sentries have the defensive perimeters of each strut covered. You'll be safe as long as they don't radio for more men, but if you're spotted, run for it. Find a good concealment and wait until the backup leaves. You won't be able to defuse the bombs while you're being chased down, believe me.
Pliskin, you seemed pretty focused on the Navy captain. Something catch your eye?
Yeah, remember the handcuffs were cut? There was something on the other end of that.
Do you know what it was?
Well, no, forget it.
What do you mean, forget it?
Just what I said. Forget it. Talk to you later, kid.